Hey there, this is Tony Brock from Close Enemies and the Babies, and you're listening to the Nothing Shocking podcast.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking podcast, a non-genre based, all ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dog Bowl Studios is
Coach Nez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers, like our Facebook page, or follow us on X at No Shock Pod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Ragged Records, located in downtown Rock Island, Illinois, and downtown Davenport, Iowa. We'd like to thank the Hong Kong Sleepover for allowing us to use their music for our intro and bumper ending. Tonight's guest is
Tony Brock. Most people know from the Babies, but he's got a new band, Close Enemies.
Yeah, got some new singles have been released. Also has a new album, I guess, coming out here, a physical copy in August, correct?
Yeah, and the band's a kind of a little bit of a super group. We got Peter Stroud, Trace Foster, Chase Hampton, and Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith.
Fantastic interview. Let's get to it.
All right, good night.
Good night. Tony, welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'd like to introduce you, my co-host, Jeff Untied.
Tony, thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy. It's nice to be here, and hope you guys are well. And let's do a good one.
Yeah, this is going to be the best interview you have ever had. I guarantee it. So, hey, let's get right into this. Close Enemies is a new supergroup of sorts that you're part of. Along with yourself, you've teamed up with Peter Stroud, Tom Hamilton, Trace Foster, and Chase Hampton. Can you talk a little bit more about this project and how it all came together?
Yeah, this is pretty much Trace. He's the sort of founder of the band, and a couple of years back, and got together with Peter Stroud, who works with Sheryl Crow. Mm-hmm. That's his fame. He's been with Sheryl for the last 25 years, I believe, as her MD, and now they formed a band, together with Sheryl. They just released an album too. So, and then I think they had a couple of other players last year, but I guess the schedules didn't work, and Peter and myself have always wanted to do something together, and this worked out to be perfect. So Peter Stroud got me in the band, and then we found Tom Hamilton. Well, actually, Trace found Tom because he works with AC/DC, mm-hmm. and he was working, with Aerosmith at the time, and he wanted a bass player, and he just had found a way of asking Tom would be interested in listening to some songs, and Tom loved them so much. He said, "Yeah, I want in." So we had Trace, Peter, myself, and Tom, and we were looking for a singer, and of course a band name, but a singer is the hardest. We must have gone through tons of singers, and but Chasen was one of the guys from the Mickey Mouse Club,
Right.
Yeah.
and he was the rock and roll side of it, but he still came up with the Justin Timberlake and Britney and all those people, and he just at first we didn't know, and suddenly we gave him a song, and he said could he do his own thing on it, and we said sure, go for it, instead of copying another singer that was on there, and he sent it back, and we knew right away that he was the guy. So despite the name, we actually really like each other. So,
Yeah, that was going to be my question about the name. It's pretty cool, Close Enemies. It's got a little double play innuendo. Can you talk a little bit about how the band came up with the name?
Well, we looked for every name. We must have gone through 2,000 names, and every band in California, every rock and roll band, every punk band, if you can think up the nastiest names, which we did, and somebody's got it. And so when Peter's wife said, she was watching Godfather, and that's where it came from, keep your friends close and enemies closer. So she said, hey, how about Close Enemies? We said, that's got to be taken. So we looked it up, and damn it, there's only one. There was a movie called Close Enemies, and a song, I believe, but no band. So we grabbed it,
That's
and
cool.
and so we came up with the keyhole, with an eye looking through it. We haven't quite found the tongue yet, like the Rolling Stones. That's the famous, but we'll get there.
Very good.
Well,
the band released the single "More Than I Could Ever Need" recently, and it released "The Sound of a Train" back in January. Can you talk a little bit more about the collaboration when it comes to songwriting with the band?
Yeah, well, when I joined, they'd already had 2 or 3 songs. We've actually got who I call our Bernie Taupin, who does a lot of the lyrics for us. But I was lucky enough to work with Bernie actually with Farm Dogs, so they already had 3 or 4 songs together before I joined, and the songwriting thing is when we go to Peter's place, he's got a basement, and there's some magic going on down there. When we all get together, we have that shit-eating grin, And at this age, that's hard to find. We're just having a blast, I know everybody says that, it's the best thing you've ever done, but this truly is, it's so incredibly fun, and there's no head games. There's no one's an a-hole. It's just the best, and at my age, to be in 2 bands, it's like, oh, here we go. So it's fun, but the songwriting is all of us. And Rain, which was actually our 4th single, that was sort of the beginning of all of our inputs all together as one,
Nice.
As far as helping arrange, I love to arrange and produce, and so I got stuck into that one with the boys, and then play a little bit of piano on it, and as well as drums, and that was our 4th single. That seems to be doing the best so far. So
Absolutely,
I couldn't be more pleased.
for sure. Yeah.
More Than I Could Ever Need is the newest one. Do you have a story from the sessions of that one?
Yeah, actually, that's one song that Tom Hamilton brought in, and he's known for his riffs, obviously, with the sweet emotion and all that. So, but he came up came up with this, and we just started playing it, and we started playing it with him, and we hashed around the lyrics, and so it's mostly Tom's effort, and with a little bit of help from the rest of the band, and that's how that one came around. It's turned out to be really nice.
Yes.
It's one of our more ballads. The rest of the tracks are pretty rock and roll and out there, but it's still got a great melody, and we're proud of it. So, yeah, but that's Tom Hamilton for you, playing that bass line again. He's a magic bass player.
He sure is. Well, Close Enemies have announced tour dates labeled as An Evening with Close Enemies. What can your fans expect from a live show?
Well, we do. We did a whole tour in January, which was our first shows we've done together, and we did all the wineries and in New York, Chicago, and all that, and it went really well. We were kind of a little bit paranoid, might not be the word, but we were a little tense about playing 8 or 9 songs that no one's heard before. So they're turning up just because we got a few names in the band, and wondering what to expect, and we were wondering what to expect as well, but it was wonderful, and to hold an audience for 9 songs that they've never heard before was quite a feat. Yeah. So we got away with it. Of course, we do Sick as a Dog and Sweet Emotion to end it up, and Midnight Rendezvous from the Babies, and also Head First.
Oh, cool.
Very good.
Which is one of my tracks, and that's it feels good. We're getting a great reaction, so that side of the worry is gone for us, and the songs are holding up, so that's all that counts.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, talk about being on tour and the bass player drummer relationship. So you got Tom Hamilton and yourself. Can you talk a little bit about that, finding that groove in the pocket with Tom?
Yeah, it was pretty natural. We have the same taste in music, very similar anyway. And the first day that we played together, we just locked in, and I'm able to do what I do with ease, and plus I love melodic bass players, and so I can hold that nasty, greasy sort of backbeat down, that English thing that we do. And Tom plays that melody around me like Free used to, with Andy Fraser, on bass. And Tom and I are just look at each other going, damn, where were we when we were younger? So, it's fantastic.
That's so that is so cool. In this portion of your career, and when we talk about touring, we have talked to many artists with philosophies on touring for duration. But for you and the rest of the band, what is sustainable for the band now? I mean, you're going out on a full blown tour when hey, you guys are not young guys anymore. So what works for you and the rest of the band when it comes to touring?
Wheelchairs.
As far as duration, the length and time of your tour.
Well, we do. The most we'd like to do is 3 in a row, and with a day off. But that's usually a travel day anyway. So, we were out for almost 2 months through January and February. So, of course, this year we've stumbled a little bit because Peter has been out with Sheryl Crow. Most of this year has been booked up. I've had the baby shows, already booked, so I've been doing that. And Trace works with AC/DC and works with Angus, so he's out. And we were supposed to go to California and do a whole run in November, but AC/DC suddenly decided they're going to go to Australia. Oh, wow. So we had we had to postpone that till January. So now we're going to do a whole of January is going to be California, which is fantastic. So the babies were huge in California, especially down through all the coast, and so every time the babies play there, we're sold out. So I'm hoping a lot of babies fans are going to turn up. We know Aerosmith fans are going to turn up, and so we've got a little bit of a head start. But as far as length goes, we're, for our age, we're really fit. So there's not a problem that way. It's just it's putting in the shows that we can fill at the moment. We don't want to go to the bigger places and not sell out, but so we'd rather go to the smaller clubs and well, they're not that small, but we're not starting again, but at least they're completely sold out, and that makes you feel good, So of course, it's whatever the agency can book in a row. But next year's looking fantastic for us, and of course, like you said, our 5th single's coming out more than ever. So we're looking to see what that can do.
Well,
nice.
We're excited for it.
Yeah, so I saw with the babies that you guys recently played in June, and you had a few shows. What's coming up next on the schedule with the babies?
We're playing Franklin Theater in Nashville, and we've got 4 or 5 shows around that, and we're planning to produce another record with the babies. So,
cool.
Yeah. But we're starting to write some songs already, and so we're going to do maybe another album, and we'll go from there, But Close Enemies is the main band for all of us. We've all said this is what we want to do. We're getting such a great reaction from it, and I know it all sounds like roses and everything, but it's still hard work.
Oh, yeah.
But it's, I can't tell you what it's like to finally be in a band, and there's no one's got an attitude. And when we write songs, it's like we try everything even if it's the most stupidest idea, sometimes they really work. So whoever's got an idea, we try it out, and usually, 99%, if they've been working, we've all got enough hits under our belts to know what not to do and what to do, and so things go pretty smooth. And so again, we're just loving it, and I can't say enough good things about it.
Well, one thing I thought was pretty impressive is both bands, Close Enemies and the Babies, have a pretty good interactive websites for each band. Can you talk a little bit about the band's approach towards self-promotion and with all the different social medias that are out there now?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's a whole different ballgame these days. I mean, the Babies were the first band to ever get a record deal through VHS. We made a three song video in London, and instead of doing the usual showcase and all that crap that every record company wanted to see the band before they sign them, and well, of course, that makes sense, of course, but we made three song video and did all the psychedelic stuff, and which was good in those days. And we suddenly got a bidding war from Chrysalis and Sony and you name it. So we got $1 million record deal, which I'm still waiting for the money to come in the mailbox. And then, of course, the record company, in those days, were basically a bank, and they would put the money up to do videos and promotion, and all those days are gone. So now it's, as you guys do, it's just getting on the computer and doing what you can do. We have someone 24/7 just plugging away for us on the internet, and every avenue is tried. So it's a different era, and we have to follow suit.
Absolutely. As we see, the physical product of vinyl and CDs, not as at the forefront of the pop culture and music anymore. What are your thoughts and the band's thoughts on releasing music on a physical copy? Is that in the works?
Oh, that's going to be our first thing. We've already got that planned. August, we're going to be releasing the whole album on vinyl.
Oh, cool.
So we can't wait. Peter and the band were mixing the last few tracks up. We'll have had 6 singles by then, I believe, and then there'll be at least 4 more. There's 4 or 5 more, maybe 6 by the time we're done, that no one's heard. So, and that's going to be on vinyl and on regular CD, when I see someone with a CD player these days, it's like, God, you still got one of those?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, 8-track's coming back.
Yeah, well, I got an 8-track player.
Yeah, I don't think I've touched my DVD player in like 10 years, maybe 8. But.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it?
It is. It truly is. Well, when people hear the name The Babies, it just so happens that the band celebrated its 50 years this year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess, pardon my ignorance, but what has the band done to commemorate this last 50 years of music? Can you give our listeners a little insight what's been going on?
Well, most of this year so far, everything we've done, we went to Australia, and we've done a cruise already to celebrate the 50 years, and every show we've been doing is celebrating the 50 years that we've had. And of course, there was a break in the middle, because John went solo, and Jonathan Cain went to Journey, and Ricky Phillips went to Styx, and I went to Eddie Money for 6 months, and then joined Rod Stewart for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that, when we, about 13 years ago now, 14 years, Wally and I decided that, let's put the Babies back together, because we weren't finished. We needed one more album just to put us over the top, even though we've had 2 top 10s and around the world, and a lot of underground sort of cult hits, like Head First and Midnight Rendezvous, which everybody still to this day calls out, But Wally and I weren't finished. So that's why we put the band back together, and I produced a new album, and it's been fun, it seems to be this year has been our most successful year, and I don't think it might have something to do with the amount of promotion we're getting from the 50th year anniversary. But it seems like the audience, we're getting a new audience now. A lot of younger people coming. Mum and Dad has told them about the Babies, and they're turning up.
Fantastic.
So we're not ready to give up and just lay down, because we're having too much fun, and the audience are really enjoying it. So, and I feel like personally I'm playing better than I ever did. So I'm not ready to give up yet either. So as long as I'm playing at least as well as I am, I'm happy to keep doing it.
Oh, we're excited for you.
Well, I guess you alluded to that. Leave after you left the Babies, you went and played with. You said Eddie Money and Rod Stewart. Can you talk a little bit about that transition? Going from being band member to being the more of the supporting cast behind the scenes of an artist. Can you talk a little bit about that transition?
Yeah, I've been really lucky in everything I've ever done. I've never been looked at. I've never been asked or told what to play. I get hired for what I do. That's a blessing because, I'm not good at being told what to play. I have a certain style and I do things that I love, and people hire me for that. So, and for me to put in my ideas. When I joined, Rod actually asked me to join him, and when we signed our record deal, we were on a plane going to Canada to do an album with Bob Ezrin when we signed our first record deal with Chrysalis with Babies. And I was on the plane. Rod called me up and said, "Hey Tony, do you want to be in the band?" And because at that point it was the Rod Stewart group, not Rod Stewart. Even though it was known as Rod Stewart and the band, it was still every road case has the Rod Stewart group on it. He never had his own dressing room when he was with us. It was always a band situation. So even all the way through the 80s and some of the 90s, I was with Rod. I've never felt like I was his drummer. I mean, we were a team. And, awesome. And I got to play with Jeff Beck whilst I was with Rod. And people like Roy Orbison, and I did his last record. So that's all through Rod and Tina Turner, people like that. Mm-hmm. So I've been very lucky. And I've never been asked what to play and told what to play. So to answer your question, basically that feeling, I've never had that feeling where I've had to work for someone else. Wow. And I don't think I could do that. And I don't know why. I think I'm a pretty nice guy and easy to work with, but I get hired for what I do, and I love that.
Yeah, that's good to hear because we've talked to some artists and they're like, I was the keyboardist and they put me in the back with no lights on.
Oh no, that can't happen.
Yeah.
Well, I want
to. If you take your trousers off, they've got to put lights on.
I want to go back to 1978. The Babies released the band's third album, Broken Heart.
Yeah.
That album took a toll on you and the rest of the band. Can you talk a little bit more about the trials and tribulations in the studio creating that album?
Actually, Broken Heart was our second album. I think the album you're referring to is Head First, which when we lost Chrysalis were not happy with Michael Corby, and Mr. Corby pretty much got himself fired, and he went sideways as a lot of band members do. He got a little full of himself and started doubting himself, and that's when we had Chrysalis on Head First said, "No, but with Ron Neverson." All my production ideas, while I'm there, all my production stuff that I do now is I've taken it all from Ron Neverson because, my Lord, what a drum sound he can get. And I'm still using the same technique these days. And but Ron and us, we went to Chrysalis Records. They said, boys, the album's not ready yet. We're not done. We need at least one more single. So that's when I was lucky enough I had the chorus that I was trying to put together for Head First, and I wrote that at home, and then I got Wally over, and Wally and I finished up the rest of the song musically, and took it to John Waite, and then we ended up with really good track, which has become one of our more known hits, and so Chrysalis were right in that respect. We didn't have the album, and we came up with 3 more different songs, but of course we had to, I played some piano on some of the tracks, and we had to get a keyboard player. So Michael Corby was no longer with us, and which is a shame. He's never forgiven us, but it's really his fault that he got himself let go. And anyway, basically getting back to it, that's when John didn't want to play bass anymore and sing. So we said, okay, well, let's get a bass player in. And by then we needed a keyboard player anyway, so we held auditions, and we were lucky enough to get Jonathan Cain and Ricky Phillips. And so that transition changed the direction of the band, because Wally and I were free, crazy, we're Bad Company, Zeppelin. I mean, that was our roots. Plus, but plus, we're both into soul music. Otis Redding, and all that. The English people just love R&B from America, and that's where a lot of English drummers get hired, because we have that R&B groove that we stole from you guys and made it an English thing, so of that lovely swing and backbeat that's just a little bit behind the beat, and that's what gives you the groove, So anyway, to answer your question, that's where Ricky and Jonathan came in. I'm not sure that I love that direction. We had 2 other. I mean, Jonathan is an incredible songwriter, and in fact, 2 of the songs that went to Journey, Jonathan had before the Babies broke up, and he had those songs. We played them for John Waite, and John Waite turned them down. So I don't think Waite could ever sing like Steve Perry anyway. So it's different styles.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, yeah, so on your website, I have to put in a little plug because I'm a big Queen Brian May fan, and Brian May had a quote on there that Back on My Feet Again is on his Desert Island Tracks. Can you talk a little bit about, as a songwriter, I know you didn't necessarily write that one necessarily, but as part of the band that did, and you were part of some of Rod Stewart's biggest hits and some other stuff we've talked about, from a songwriter perspective and player, can you talk a little bit about having those songs that are going to live on, well into the future, that they'll be played forever?
Yeah, that's part of what keeps us going. We just yesterday, I'm flying back from Los Angeles, and I had two people recognize me, and they asking me questions, but it always gets down to what keeps you going, and it's like, well, I get at least 50 emails every day, and thanking me, even whether I was part of it or part of the song or I played on it or if I wrote it. They would thank me for just, they would use it use one of our songs in their weddings or some really special occasions, or unfortunately sometimes it would be at a funeral. Yeah. But we touch their lives, and for them, when you get that gratitude from those people, and it makes you feel like you've done something in your life, and you've reached out. And music, as you know, touches everybody at some point, and every musician must feel the same way we do, and that's what keeps us going, I walk in the stores and I hear songs I've done with Rod Stewart, and it's like all those memories of that day or whatever will come flooding back, and It's wonderful to be part of that. And of course, now it's history, but with Close Enemies, we're going to try and do it, keep doing it, and making history with that band. So hopefully, I mean, every song can't do that, but because it doesn't get either heard or whatever, and 1 minute you're the biggest thing since sliced bread, and the other times, people don't want to know what you're doing. So, we carry on, and luckily I feel blessed, and we're still doing it.
And you do a fantastic job.
That's awesome.
Well, we're out of our allotted time for the evening, Tony. Is there anything that we left off that you would like to plug or promote?
No, I appreciate you guys, asking some really nice questions, and thank you for that. I hope I didn't ramble on too much for you.
No, you did
you did great.
You did a fantastic job. We're so grateful. This is how things are going to work out. Once Jeff gets it all cleaned up, he'll have it out. Text when Jeff has the link ready to go. We'll do our thing, and we'll share it everywhere. Yeah. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Fantastic.
The thing I do want to plug is that I'm still producing, by the way, if you want to put that in. And I love to produce. I did actually do Keith Urban's first song before it came back to me. I was down with Jimmy Barnes down in Australia for 7 years, and we had like 8 number ones. It was just a constant number one album for Jimmy Barnes, and he's still doing it. The man's incredible. I don't know if you know Jimmy, but he's he is the Bruce Springsteen of Australia.
Absolutely.
And
I was listening to Freight Train Heart. When Keith Urban became country, I could have. We did a pop song together when I was producing it, and I told him, I said, "Why didn't you tell me you like country? Could have done that much easier." Yeah.
Thanks a lot. So,
very good. Tony, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, you guys are great. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye.
Take your chances. hug and says their last goodbyes. Move to the sunshine, fight the grip of nights. If they ever take from you, then